Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a good night tonight. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA. All these videos get posted on this subreddit right here. It's called DF Sports. I make updates with all the news that comes out, stuff like that. You're really going to want to be over here because these slates are going to get crazy. And tomorrow, it's going to be absolutely psychotic because I don't expect pretty much all of these teams to play their main starters. So you're definitely going to want to be over here when I make updates throughout the day. And if you ever need to get a hold of me privately, if you have any questions, stuff like that, you can do so on Twitter at Tori Langley 1992. So it was a good day for me. Didn't cash on main slate, but I absolutely nuked the showdown slate. So main slate, I just didn't have quickly. Probably a mistake on my part. I thought there was just like a slight chance that he would only play like 32 minutes. I thought there was a chance. He was obviously giga chalk. He was 60% owned. I was like, okay. Trae Young is what, $600 more expensive than Emmanuel Quickly at a fraction of the ownership. That was literally my only reason for fading Quickly was slight chance of his minutes getting cut because they have absolutely nothing to play for. But Tom Thibodeau is an absolute psychopath. So that was a mistake there, but I was like, okay, even if he does play full minutes, Trae Young is in a phenomenal matchup, and he does have the ceiling and is a better point per minute guy. I would have to look at Quickly's rates when he has the team to himself, but I would assume it's close with Trae, to where I think it could work at lower ownership. So I got 2Q. It's the only reason I didn't cash tonight. I was only like, what? Yeah, 7 points from cashing without Quickly. So I feel really good about the lineup that I made tonight. As you can see, I went with the core first off that I had was Jordan Goodwin. He nuked, was a core play for me. Jalen Duren was also a core play. He nuked. Obi Toppin, another core play for me. He nuked. And Tyus Jones was also a core play for me at low ownership. He absolutely nuked as well. I feel like every player on the slate just nuked. So I feel good. Definitely, I think the Quickly fade was a mistake, but I think there were merits for it. Definitely think there were merits for it, but probably a mistake on my part. But absolutely nuked the showdown slate to bring it to a nice, profitable day for today. I went with Quiet Captain, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Norman Powell, Ivica Zubac, and Mason Plumlee. So very good day overall. Hope you guys enjoyed your, I believe today's Wednesday. And we got a 5-gamer for tomorrow. That's impossible to talk about because I expect pretty much every team to rest their main guys outside of Orlando, outside of possibly OKC, and everyone else I expect their main guys to rest. I do, so it's going to be tough. So this is what I will say. Make sure you're over on Reddit to get updates throughout the day that I do make updates, or if you want to join my Discord where I post all those updates and stuff like that, I'll have a link down below where I post player pools and stuff like that. I post player pools, I make updates. You can see here, it's link will be down below. But enough talking about that. So with I mean, we have everyone out tomorrow, so you're gonna have a lot of value here. So starting lineup: Lamar Stevens is going to start. Chetty Osman, I would assume, would start. One of the bigs in Lopez or Daikaite. What is that, 4? And then what? Neto, right? I took notes. Yeah, Neto. So I would assume that's the starting lineup. So with this being said, I would say Chetty Osman is probably going to be one of the more popular values on tomorrow. I think he looks amazing, assuming he does start at this price tag. I assume they're going to play him pretty big minutes here, so I absolutely love Chetty Osman. Raul Neto, if he starts at the point, I like him for value. My issue here with Rubio is obviously he's a main part of this rotation, so I don't know how much he'll play, so I'd be a little bit careful there. Lamar Stevens, probably going to be a lower usage guy in this offense. I'd prefer going to Dean Wade, who normally is a low usage guy, but he's probably going to be the second guy to go to on offense here. So assuming he starts, I like him. So like, I really like Chetty, like Neto, like Dean Wade. Lamar Stevens is fine, and then like we could even get into these like other guys. Like I think Sam Merrill might get decent run, maybe at flat min. I don't know if we'll have to go there, but just thought I'd mention that. Whoever starts at the 5, I like quite a bit for value. It's like Daikete, I don't know how to say his name. Lopez, so like, mainly I want to look to Chetty, whoever starts at the 5, Dean Wade, and then Raul Neto. Those are the guys that I mainly want to target, who I think are all good values. Chetty Osman definitely being my favorite of the bunch. And you're also most likely going to have to leave a bunch of salary on the slate. You might not have to, depending on what all these other teams do. So let's go on to Orlando. So it's a good matchup here because they have all their best defensive players out. So I like this team. You're gonna have to spend salary somewhere. So I like Banchero. I think the price came down enough to a reasonable point where he looks good to me. I think Fultz, this grouping of like Fultz, Cole Anthony, I think they're playable. Don't stand out, but playable. I think I'd rather go to Banchero. Franz at 6'2" seems like a pretty safe play to me. No issue there. Wendell Carter Jr. minutes have been on a downtick. Did play 32 minutes last game, so I like his ceiling. So more interested in these Orlando guys just because it depends. Like if we get news that like Miami, Philly, or like 2 or 3 of these teams are going to play their main guys and we can get to them, then Fultz, Franz, Cole, those guys are more secondary plays for me. If we get news where like everyone's out and we're gonna have to start spending salary, then I could see getting to these guys a bit more. But I like Paolo regardless in a good matchup. Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try my best, guys. I once again, Miami, pretty sure they have nothing to play for here. Bam Adebayo is questionable. I mean, if these guys are in and they play, I like them. I think Butler's a good play. I fully don't expect Bam to play, so I mean, we'll see. Last game Bam was out, they started Cody Zeller at the 5. They do that again. I like him for value. Kevin Love got the backup 5. Backup 4. I don't think we would have to go there on the slate. There's just going to be much better value. Tyler Hero at 6'6", I think is reasonable. Going to play huge minutes if he plays. I wouldn't go to any of the value, though, with all this Cleveland value and potentially more value. If we get a situation where they all rest, like Butler, Bam, Hero, Caleb, I would assume those would be the guys who would rest. Then we could start looking to, like, Victor Oladipo, Gabe Vincent. Like, if we get a situation where, like, they rest everyone and they're starting, like, Oladipo and stuff like that, like possibly Duncan Robinson. We can start looking at these guys. It's really going to depend on if players rest or not, and they'll make updates on Reddit or in Discord. On to the Phillies. Did I say Phillies? Philadelphia 76ers. So Maxey is questionable. We have Melton questionable. We have PJ Tucker also questionable. My guess, these 3 won't play. I don't expect Embiid or Harden to play or Tobias Harris, but we'll wait and see. So if we get a situation where everyone's in, it's just Embiid and Harden at the top. If Embiid plays, he's going to be like 100% owned because we're going to have a ton of value. There's not too much to spend up for. So would like Embiid, would like Harden. I don't think I'd be able to go to any of these secondary pieces. But if we get a situation where I guess if these 3 are out and Embiid and Harden plays, it still would be the same. I'd still like Embiid, still like Harden. But if they start like Shake Milton at the point, I like him quite a bit for value. We'll see. I don't even know. Like if Milton's Maxey's out, I'd assume it'd be Shake. And then if everyone's out, then we're gonna start getting to like Paul Reed. Like if they start Paul Reed at the 5, I'm playing Paul Reed. Phenomenal point per minute guy. He would be in my lineup 100% if everyone's out and Paul Reed starts. Phenomenal point per minute guy. He would be a lock for me personally if he starts. Now I don't know if he would, because I know he's been. I know in the past Doc Rivers has kind of shied away from it, and Montrezl Harrell has basically been out of the rotation. So maybe they don't start Paul Reed and they go with like Montrez, since playing Paul Reed since he's been in the rotation might be riskier. I have no idea. because he's been getting the backup 5. But if there's a situation where they're all out, Paul Reed starts. I absolutely love Paul Reed. If they start like Shake Milton at the point, I really like Shake Milton. And then I don't even know what else would happen. Uh, you would think I would know because this is my team, but could have a ton of value here as well. So just a wait and see approach. It's like impossible to say right now. I'm trying my best here. So we have Sharp, I believe, questionable for Portland. We have Watford questionable. We have Kevin Knox probable. We have Drew Eubanks probable, I believe. Yep. Matisse Thybulle questionable. Doubtful. Cam Reddish doubtful, I believe. Questionable. I'm wrong. Okay, so if everyone's in, I don't like too much, then I do like Shaden Sharp at 7-8. My only concern, he did only play 29 minutes last game. He didn't close. So that's definitely a concern. Skylar Mays at 6-4. I mean, he's going to play big minutes regardless. I think he's a pretty safe play. If, Watford's in, Drew Eubanks is obviously in, and then Kevin Knox is in. Oh, he's probable. Then I don't think I have too much interest in anyone else. And yeah, probably not anyone else. If everyone's out though, like if we get a situation where Sharp's out, Watford's out, and then Matisse Thybulle, Cam Reddish are out, then I absolutely love Skylar Mays at 6-4. He's just going to have to do everything for this team, play huge minutes. I would absolutely love him in a phenomenal matchup. I would like Drew Eubanks quite a bit. I would think this game stays close. These two teams are just horrible, so would love Skylar Mays, would like Drew Eubanks. Kevin Knox is probable. Kevin Knox would be playable. He was god awful last game. I would like Jabari Walker quite a bit. Got in a massive foul trouble here, but I would expect good minutes for him. Good point per minute guy. And then, like, if you want to go to, like, Harrison, Jonathan Williams, be my guest. They added Minea to the pool, but I'd mainly be looking to Skylar Mays, Drew Banks, Jabari Walker, and then possibly, like, Jonathan Williams. I think I prefer Williams to Shaq Harrison. On the Spurs, we have Zach Collins probable. Obviously, Spurs have nothing to play for, but they've been doing this all season, so I expect Zach Collins to play. I don't think Keldon will play, but we have Vassell out, Sochan out, Devontae Graham out. So if Zach Collins plays, I like him quite a bit. I don't expect Collins to play. I think Trey Jones seems like a very, very safe play. Not going to play huge minutes, but he's going to stuff the stats, pretty much do everything. It's a great spot against Portland, so I like Zach Collins quite a bit. I like Trey Jones quite a bit. Can't get to Sandro, I think, with Zach Collins back. Branham, whole play, regardless if the game stays close or not. I think he looks like a solid play at 5-4. I'm not going to get the K Bates D up at that price tag, and then I don't think I'll be going to these value guys. We're just going to have a lot more value. So I expect OKC to play their main guys here. So if that's the case, I really like SGA's spend-up. I assume he's going to be massive, massive chalk tomorrow. Giddy's fine, Jalen's fine, but more secondary plays, and then it's just impossible to go to any of that value. On to Utah, so Markkanen, Kessler, Clarkson, Sexton. Why did Sexton even play? Why? All out. I mean, it's a phenomenal spot. If you want to go to 8.1K THT, I think it's reasonable. Kelly Olynyk, I think, is probably my favorite play between these guys. They're just going to run their offense, throw them a ton. So I like Kelly. I think THT is reasonable. I'm not going to get to Dunn. I'm not going to get to Abaji, Fontecchio. You saw Azubuike start, but he didn't play much. It's hard to go there. You saw Samanic, I believe, get minutes, but will better value for sure. On to Denver, so I'd be shocked if Jokic and Murray play. So if they're both in, which I fully expect them not to play here, you can take shots there. But if they're out, then I love Gordon. I like Bruce. I like MPJ. KCP, we won't need to go there. Much better value. It would mainly be like Gordon, Bruce, MPJ at target here, who I'd like all three quite a bit. If they're out, I'll just make an update. I don't even know who would be available if they're all out, so we'll just wait there. And then Suns, I don't know if they'll be playing or not as well. If they're in, you're going to have to spend salary, so Booker, KD, they seem reasonable to me at their respective prices. Chris Paul, don't really know. Seems okay. Ayton probably be my favorite play of this bunch. At 6'5" in a phenomenal spot, assuming Jokic doesn't play, and then I don't think I'll be going to anyone else. And then once again, if they're all out, we'll make updates. We'll just have to monitor who's in, who's out. I don't know if they'll like play Payne or not. Really hard to say there. So sorry guys, that's all I got. Really, really hard slate to go over. With all this news up in the air, it's just impossible right now. So just thought I'd get something out. Tough to say, and I'll talk to y'all hopefully tomorrow.